I hope you got that. And it's snapped. You can probably see that there. It's snapped. Amaran, we need to have a chat. Hi, I'm James. Welcome to the Picture House, and today we're taking a look at this tiny little bowling ball case, which is actually an Amaran Ray 120. I'm super excited about this thing, only because of its form factor more than anything else. Look at this thing. I mean, we haven't had much of a chance to play with it, to be fair. It literally arrived earlier today. Just that is amazing. To have 120 watt, really high quality light that can do basically any color in this kind of form factor is pretty amazing. This is not a technical overview. There's plenty of videos out there that'll do that. This is more of a kind of, come with us on our journey as we discover what this thing can do too. Look at that thing. It's so sweet and cute. Look at it. Let's take a look at what's in the case to start with. So the case is really nice. It's got this sort of like fairly strong, sort of almost ripstop grid cloth style stuff. The light comes with the really cute little Octodome 30 attached to it. It doesn't have any sort of cover or cap to protect the COB or the glass bit here. Let's pop this open, because this thing, they've done a great job with this like handle. Like literally just pull that and pop it out, and then you've got this great little modifier. We've popped the diffusion on it as well. You only get one strength of diffusion, but to be honest, it's kind of all you need with such a tiny little rice bowl anyway. You get power brick, which is I think 150 watts. Got like a little barrel, which goes into the bottom. Get a little egg crate. It's fine. I mean, it's fine. It's nothing to write home about. Sorry, that's put on so badly. I don't know what degree that is. It doesn't really state anywhere, but you get one. That's cool. It's good that it's included. We've got this, which actually I was really impressed with. It's solid metal, which is quite nice. So you've got the handle. You've got a way to mount the power adapter. So let's do that now, actually, while we're here. It's kind of a cool idea. I'll get to why I don't particularly like it in a minute. It kind of gets in the way and stuff. I'm getting really hot, so I'm just going to take my jumper off. Oh, the mic! Oops, does it still work? And that's kind of it, I think. Oh, and we've got an IEC cable, which you plug into the power adapter.
Well, what did it come with initially?
Oh, well, our one came with a European plug, which is a bit weird. So we've had to, this isn't the one that comes with the light. We've had to swap it out. So yeah, IEC, which is all a little bit, it's fine. This is a really budget light. This is a super cheap light, essentially. So all of this stuff is kind of forgivable. It's definitely not super professional or like particularly industry standard, to be perfectly honest, but it's kind of forgivable because it's just so cheap and small and practical that all those things are kind of forgiven. And let's just take a look at this little unit. So it's, as I say, it's really small. It's literally palm sized. So you've got 120 watt COB with their Amaran and Aperture's new chip. It's not the Blair CG engine. I think it's like a watered down version, but it still provides excellent CRI. It provides the ability to do extended CCT ranges. It also allows you to do HSI and RGB modes and all the different like silly effects that hardly anyone ever uses anyway, but you can do them. So let's take a look at how this thing mounts. Like on the top, you've got a 1/4 and 3/8. And then on the other side, you've got their proprietary like quick lock thing. In my opinion, it's really cool in the sense that this is neat, that you clip it on there like that. My only worry is like, this is the point of failure, I guess, right? So if you're mounting this like maybe overhead or something, you definitely want to maybe put a little hook into here, attach something else, and maybe put like a safety bond onto this, because if that's your point of failure, just these two teeny tiny little clips, and in a professional environment, I would probably be a little bit worried about that. It's not to say that it doesn't feel like very positive and solid, like it does, but that would be something that I would probably just be quite conscious of when using it in a professional environment. Let's put the Octodome 30 on here. Let's take that off for a second. We don't need the grid. So it's interesting that this mount here, the Bowens mount, is plastic. I'm guessing it doesn't get too hot. So on the bottom here, we've got two ways of powering the light. We've got USB-C power delivery here, and then you've got the barrel, which is for either the mains power that it comes with, or you can use like a D-tap. So let's stick this guy on a stand, and then we will plug it in. So on the bottom of the handle, you've got a baby pin receiver. Okay, and let's turn it on. So let's look at the back while we turn it on. So to power this thing on, it's a double tap. So it's a tick to go into that particular menu. Then you've got a scroll wheel, which is a really nice haptic. Do you know what? Let's put it next to the mic so you can hear it, because this is possibly one of the most satisfying bits of electrical engineering that I've experienced in the last, I don't know, maybe 10 years or so. 100 years. I don't know how they're doing it. Perhaps it's like some sort of haptics, maybe it's like magnets. It is not just satisfying, but it actually works really well. For something like when it's just slightly out of reach, like you can't see the back of the screen, and maybe you haven't done the Sidus Link / Amaran app or something, and it's slightly out of reach, and you want to be able to just tell, it just gives you that feedback, which is like a really nice touch, I think. Let's just have a look at this light with this modifier on it at 100%. We're in a studio environment here, and we're being lit. The key light that we're using to light us is a 600D with a light dome 150. And we've got a couple of other lights here, like a Sumo, and then we've got like a 60X over there. So this 120 watt teeny tiny light is gonna pale in comparison. So don't judge this poor little guy on its merits in this studio. It's a big space. That's not really going to be representative of of its use, essentially. In a studio environment, this light's really going to be useful for us where we use small fixtures perhaps to get them overhead into awkward little places without having to use big booms. If we put a light overhead and it's a big heavy light, we need to use big stands, big booms, lots of counterbalance, counterweight. It suddenly becomes a whole thing, or we need to put a truss up. So if you want something small and lightweight overhead, something like this is great, particularly when you can you put a battery on it and you haven't got any cables. You can just strip this right down to being quite small and lightweight, and then you've got like a nice little top-down light. Or maybe it's a nice little scratch light, little edge light or hair light, just on a C-stand, just slightly out of shot for your interview setup. Like if that's just out over here, I'm sure that's probably doing enough, isn't it, just to give me a little bit of edge. Let's put a reflector on there. Button in the top left, really simple to take on and off. But there we go, we've got a hyper reflector. This is actually off of a 600D. We can see why it's pretty good. It's got quite a lot of punch, hasn't it? It does quite a lot. See what it does on the back of our Cove as well. You can really see that. Can you see it on camera, that hot spot? Let's put a slightly more normal reflector on it. There we go, it's a bit nicer, a bit more even spread of the beam. So this is at 100% at 5,600 Kelvin. And again, if you're using this as like a little scratch, let's pop this over here, mind your eyes. And we had that way out of shot. It should be doing quite a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's bright. Let's stick it into HSI mode, which is hue, saturation, and intensity. So we're gonna go over to 360. So I've got a nice little red edge. I've got a red edge?
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, let's go on to the colors. Like, the cool thing about this light as well, being part of the new Ray range, is it has Amaran / Aperture's new light engine. Like I say, it's not Blair CG, it's their kind of watered down version, but it's still excellent at producing different colored light. Like, it's excellent at creating normal light. It gives you a much better color rendering index, or TLCI as well. But for the HSI stuff, you get colored light, which is very difficult to reproduce with the RGB WW lights that we've got. And immediately, the area that we noticed definitely has so much more color and so much more ability to fine tune it, it's probably the word that I'm looking for, is that area between blue and red, that kind of like indigo purple light. Yeah, let's just cycle through these. Like, those blues are so blue. They really are. And we actually measured how much light you get in the ultraviolet spectrum, again with the C800. And this thing blows the P300 and the 600C completely out of the water in terms of that UV end of the spectrum. It's definitely got a lot more blues in it and ultraviolet ability. So you can, like, what's kind of cool, because you've got so much more UV light as well, like fluorescent things are way more fluorescent, which is really interesting. You can see how fluorescent these tapes are, which is kind of cool. It's a cool feature to have like a light that can actually produce so much more light in that UV spectrum. Its uses, let's have a look. Realistically, in the real world, we've talked about a couple of like how we might use it. You might use it like a key light with a small modifier. Let's try another modifier. I am going to turn it off for a second while I swap this out. So you could put a nice little snoot on it. If you wanted just a little tiny spot of light for whatever reason. So this is the ×2 Fresnel for the 300D, and I wouldn't recommend using this. It does fit on here, just about. It doesn't really work though. I mean, you can see it turns on, and we are getting light out of it. So, you know, what's to say that it doesn't work? I mean, it kind of does work in a way. Yeah, it's essentially not really calibrated for this for now. So it kind of works, but it also kind of doesn't, and also it gets stuck. So now, I wouldn't recommend, so don't use it on this. Hand. It's just because I can't get my, if you can just hold the, don't use the ×2 Fresnel for the 300D because it doesn't work basically. So we got aperture lightbox 3120 here. So going back to what I was saying earlier about why I'm not 100% keen on this design here is like this does work on here, so we can turn that on. I mean, like, this is quite a big softbox really for a light that's only 120 watts. So as you can probably see, it doesn't really give you a lot of output, understandably. Now, going back to this thing down here, you want to spin it around so it's vertical. So no, you can't. It just literally forces the, I think we've broken the locking mechanism, which is a real shame.
You know, you say we.
That's a little bit disappointing. I'm hoping we can fix it. Essentially what's happened is this little nubbin in there, I don't know if you can see, you see it up in here? That's the thing that basically, once the little lug goes into this point here, that's what, that pin pops up, which essentially stops it from falling out. And that seems to have busted. Maybe we can fix it and try and take it apart. So just jumping in here, we did manage to fix it. It was just essentially stuck in the depressed position. So it wouldn't engage. But essentially all we did was we got an Allen key and we forced it down a little bit more and pressed the button, and it did indeed pop back up. It's not something you'd like to happen on a shoot, but essentially don't use that Fresnel on it and you'll be fine. Anyway, that doesn't stop us from putting it on there to start with and just talking about it and going back to what I was saying. And if I rotate this like that, you can kind of get it vertical, I guess, but it's just a little bit. It's not slick, is it? It's not. And then if you want to tilt it down, like I can't tilt it down because the power thing's in the way. What if I reverse it? Oh no, it only allows me to go 90 degrees, so I can't do it that way either. And you might argue, okay, this is like an integrate. This is like a handle / quick mount thing. Maybe you'd actually mount it from the 3/8 up here somehow, find like a better solution for doing it that way. Fair enough. If it was somewhere else that just didn't get in the way of being able to tilt that down, it might be a little bit better. But anyway, minor gripe. Aperture Light Dome Mini, which is really nice little modifier actually. I like this guy. Let's turn that on. That's quite nice, isn't it? A lot of smaller budget, sort of quick turnaround, interview sequences. We'll often use like a key light with something like this, the Amaran Light Dome 90, or like a Light Dome 2, or something bigger like that one, like the Light Dome 150. These are great for like interviews and stuff like that. When you haven't got time to do a really elaborate, nice lighting setup like a book light or something, you can kind of see what that's doing. Not a lot really, because it's 120 watts. But let's turn that off and have a look. Canon C400 at ISO 800 f2.8, and that's at 100% power, about 1.5 meters from me. Amaran Ray 120C on 5.6 CCT with the Amaran 90. So if you're in a controlled environment, you know, that's a pitch black studio, you could probably use something like that. So let's take the guy over here and let's have a look at different power options. We're going to use one of these teeny tiny, very sweet FX Lion Nano 2s, which have an output of 10 amps max. It comes up with a little warning message here, if you can see that. And it says, current power supply device only supports a maximum brightness of 60%. What's neat about these Nano 2s is at a stretch. Let's do this, come on, we can do this. So that's kind of a neat little package, isn't it? Look at that, that's kind of cool. Let's pop the supplied Octadome 30 on here. That is kind of a cool little setup. I do like that. That is a really nice, neat little setup. You could have an assistant like literally running alongside the talent, maybe if you're out and about and it's kind of like run and gun situation, which we've, you know, a lot of us have ended up in that position for whatever reason. And sometimes just a little light like this is just enough to give you something on location. And the fact that you could, you know, stick that on a boom as well and get it up somewhere, you know, talking of which, if you wanted to get that on a boom, get that somewhere, you know, hard to reach and slightly awkward, yeah, let's do it actually. Let's create a little top-down light. Very quickly and very easily with just this one Matthew stand, 2 sandbags. This fixture's so lightweight. We're on a battery as well, so there's no cables, there's no nothing. If you need to do a top-down light really quickly, really easily, and you're in a controlled environment where 120 watts is going to be enough, this is kind of cool. Does it look cool? Yeah. I mean, top-down lights always look cool. Hello, jumping in with a quick addition. We have managed to get 100% power output using portable power in the form of a V-mount battery. But this particular V-mount battery is the Small Rig 212, the Caleb Pike edition. This has 2 USB-Cs, and this is a USB-C PD 3.1 cable, which is capable of 240 watts. That's important because we're actually pulling about 141 watts apparently, according to the display on the battery. But essentially what that does give us is that full output, 100% with a portable power solution, which is awesome. While we're here and while we've got the app, Amaran have got their own app for all their fixtures. It's not exactly feature packed, I would say. It's quite simple, but also that's fine. It's functional, does the job. And you've got all these like creative control options. Green, indigo, red, blue. And we can also look while we're here as well at CCT. So in its standard range, it goes from 2,300 to 10,000, which is a pretty awesome range. And then you've got extended range as well, which goes all the way up to 20,000, all the way down to 1500, which is really, really warm. And you've got all the other options as well, like HSI, RGB, FX, etc., etc. Like lightning, strobe. Does anyone actually use those effects? So another cool little feature as well is the umbrella mount here. Umbrellas are actually a really inexpensive and quite nice way of modifying your light. Let's turn it up to 60% and see what that's doing. Is that giving me a lovely, lovely key?
Very nice.
Is that nice? It's not perfect, but if you're, if you really need to travel light and you've got very little space and time, umbrellas pop up extremely, extremely quickly and weigh next to nothing. And if it's raining, you could do that, so you're lit well and protected from the rain. How's that working for me? Is that quite cool? Little brolly, little brolly light. Yeah, you could easily get this in overhead, couldn't you? You're in a controlled environment like a studio like this, or on location where you can control the light and blackouts and windows and stuff. This would actually be probably quite a cool solution. So yeah, that's another neat little way that we might use this light on location. Yeah, we found a really nice little combo here, I think, actually. Godoc's super cheap parabolic umbrella with the Amaran Ray 120. And yeah, those two together, it looks kind of cool. I hope you got that. Okay, so we found a slight flaw in Amaran's product design. Should we look at this? Keep rolling and let's have a look at this and figure out what's just happened. Because I'm here singing the praises of a lightweight umbrella setup. So let's take a look at what's happened, because I actually don't know. It looks like the umbrella mount here, which is made entirely of plastic, and it's snapped. You can probably see that there, it's snapped. Now, I'm a little bit sad about that because I actually really enjoyed, we used this umbrella on a shoot yesterday. It was great, it was actually really, really good, and that's why I'm sort of singing its praises today. Let's take the light off and have a little look at what's happened here. So bearing in mind, I do still really love this light, even though it's almost just killed somebody by letting the modifier fall off of it. It wouldn't have killed someone, it's a lightweight modifier, but I think this probably goes to show why the industry doesn't use umbrella mounts. So let's take a look at the little piece in question here, if you can see that, but it essentially attaches there. And this is, by all means, a very, very cheap bit of plastic, and it attaches with these two screws here. And the plastic has basically sheared clean off. So we have discovered today that there is definitely a flaw with these Amaran Ray lights, which is a real shame because I do love this light, it's wicked, but I think Amaran, you may need to, I don't know, is it a product recall or is it there is a safety concern there. You don't want umbrellas falling on people's heads if they choose to use it. Or maybe it's like ship out a replacement part that's made of metal or a stronger plastic that people can fit themselves, and it's literally two hex screws, so it would take less than 5 minutes to replace this part. It's a shame because I wasn't quite enjoying using umbrellas. And now we can't because it's completely broken, so see ya. We're going to be taking it around with us on location, I imagine. It will be one of those just-in-case lights. So yeah, I'm sure we'll report back in the future with how we get on with this little thing. But yeah, if you like this video, if you really want to, you can subscribe and drop us a comment. If you are using this light, tell us how you're using it, because I'm intrigued how other people are going to be using this light, because it is a really niche bit of kit, but it's cool.